Okay, great. So I'm just relaxing here. Okay. The first image is really interesting. It's sort of like the experience of breathing. So I am actually kind of I'm like a little particle, and I'm going in and into the lungs, and then I'm going out of the lungs. So I'm just going in, and then I'm going out. So there's something about breathing, and then the heartbeat. So it's sort of like the blood flows. It's sort of like I'm pumping into the heart, and I'm pumping out of the heart. So there's something about the movement inward and outward. And it reminds me of the lungs breathing, and then it also reminds me of the heart beating. So let's see what else. It's the oddest space, and it's actually kind of fun to experience it. And I'm kind of perplexed by it right now. There's kind of like a brownish aura to it. That doesn't necessarily mean dirty or anything. It just has that aura about it. As I'm moving inward and then moving outward, inward and then outward. So I'm still having that experience right now. I'm becoming aware that this initial space is still kind of a cover up for something deeper. So I want to get deeper than the lungs and the heart, even is kind of where I'm at. I want to go deeper than this experience. And so I'm actually diving through this in and out experience. I'm diving beneath the surface of it. Which is funny because instead of diving downward, I'm actually diving forward, diving straight ahead. It's cool. When I go straight ahead, it's just like all light everywhere. There's just all light, and it's so bright. It's so bright that I can't actually make out anything that is here other than the light. And in an odd way, I really don't care to define what is in the space of light. If it's just light, that's more than I could ask for in a way. It's like, that is perfect. I am happy with that. If I'm in a space that is just bright and full of light, I am happy with that. I don't need to define anything else. It's just about the lights. It's just about the love. That's it. It's really fun feeling that I'm getting in here. It's light. It's really bright in here, but it's not as actively alive as I'd like it to be. Obviously, what we see is wonderful. What the message about it is wonderful. But harmonically wise, there needs to be more instruments. There needs to be more singing. There needs more energetic activity. But it's still very positive. Some sort of master is in here, and I see that this light is kind of descending downward from a place above, and there's a tiny little pinprick where the light is actually emanating from this. But this tiny pinprick is so intense, it creates this very intense light that's almost like you're looking directly into a flashlight, but it's all around you, and it's like everywhere. There's some sort of male gender persona in the lights, and he's very like your typical spirit guide scholar kind of emanation about it. But he's cool. Like all the scholars are cool. He's like a more youthful looking man. He has brown hair. It's not white or anything, and it's kind of patchy curls. But he doesn't. I mean, he's handsome. He's handsome, but his beard isn't fully grown. It's not like grown in. And he has just brown short hair. He has olive skin. He's wearing a white robe with like a tassel belt. It's just like a little cord. He's got books in his hands. He he's like getting really excited. His heart is like ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. That's what it's like. It's like when his heart starts to beat and he gets really excited, I'm just like, oh, I'm like, this is really fun. It's better. It's more wonderful. It's like I can see something that's great, but if I can feel something that's great, oh God, give me more of the feeling of something great. And he really emanates good feelings. It really does. He's in the center of the light. And so in a way, he's blending with the light too. So he kind of reminds me of light himself. He's not moving towards me. And it's kind of like a weird, awkward moment. Like, oh, I see you. I'm excited, but you're not talking to me. Like, oh, am I supposed to do something? Maybe I need to walk towards you, or there's like an odd, like on my end feels awkward because I don't know why. It's like kind of silly in a weird way. But he's just smiling. I guess I was gawking at him, and I started coming to my senses here. Mm. He's actually he's not moving and not speaking because he wants me to calm down. So he's relaxing my spiritual atmosphere. So we're relaxing together and we're slowing the frequency down. And that's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing. There's meditation wisdom in this slowing down the frequency. I think about meditation and yoga type of experiences and slowing down the frequency. He's talking about transfer of information. Imagine you have a book to read. If you read it at a really fast pace, you might miss something. So he's talking about when you slow down and you actually take in each word and sentence and you really go into the fine detail and you explore how it makes you feel and you imagine what the images look like and you participate in the experience of the learning, it's far more valuable. So slowing it down and participating in the feelings and the wisdom in the whole experience is really enriching. So if I were to just start telling you stuff, it won't be as meaningful as if we slow it down and then we receive it on so many different emotional levels, thinking levels, speaking levels, heart levels. He's talking about basically all the chakra energy portal levels that we can process information. Behind the scenes of his very calm demeanor, he is like heart is like boom, 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 boom. He's like really, 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 really excited, even though he's like very calm. And it's like every time I notice it, it's like instantly I get really excited. So now I gotta try and calm down again. I get really, really happy. I adore him. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I know you, but I know you and I adore you. Like that's how I feel right now. I'm just too happy to calm down. I can't help it. That's how I'm like. He says it's okay. He shows me a table and he has all types of scrolls and documents and books. And he lays them all out on the table in a split second. And so we have all this stuff to look at. And there's maps and there's volumes of writing and poetry. And then there's artwork, like there's scrolls. There's like all this extremely diverse, extremely beautiful, extraordinary, interconnected energetic reactions to the information. Like it's all on the table. And it's all right here at our fingertips. And where do you even begin to process all of this? He says again, how are you, Diane, going to process all this information by quickly going through as much as you possibly can, or slowly taking it all in and appreciating this journey of healing and self-discovery? It's a really cool message, actually, very positive and very loving in the way that he's expressing it. And even for me, it's like I feel like I have so access to so much information at my fingertips. I feel like I just want to dive in. I just want to like consume it all. Like I'm like I'm starving for it. Like I'm going to eat this painting here, and I'm going to consume these scrolls and these like Dead Sea Scrolls or something. Like it's artifacts. It's like ridiculously cool artifacts, and I just feel like consuming it all as quickly as I can because I'm hungry for more and more and more and more. And he says the hardest thing that you could ask a starving person to do is just take one bite. And we're talking not only starving for food, but starving for wisdom, starving for healing, starving for enlightenment. These two are starvation, starving for love. He says it's very hard, and he knows. He says if you could pick out anything on this table, and I'm telling you, there's like Atlantis is on this table, Egypt, artwork, the Library of Alexandria, the catacombs is the Roman Catholic Church. There's Jesus's true history, like the galactic family. There's like all of this stuff on this table. If you could only have one piece of information off this table, what would you choose? This is just for you to contemplate, but let's see what the response is. I seem to be participating in being you in the scene. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to see what the reaction is. Wow, I tell him that I long to understand or to know, to experience everything on the table, but oddly enough, I feel inspired to step back and go within myself and find access to a secret library inside my heart. I say I don't need this external information. I want to discover it within me. Wow, that was powerful. He wants to know how many people on the planet today do you think would say such a thing? That they had access to any type of information about anything, and they would choose to say, no thanks, I'm going to find it within myself. And he says a part of you, Diane, has just said this, has just expressed this choice. And that's exactly what you're doing. You are actually choosing to find the wisdom within yourself. And that is what true wisdom is all about. It's interesting because he's acting a lot like a guide that's going to help you access the catacombs of wisdom within yourself. He's very light, and I don't know that you would ever be able to tell that he was there per se, because he's light. You can't tell when, if we're just standing there, there's like, we see little beams of light throughout the house or whatever. And you don't necessarily feel the light touching. You might feel warmer in those places, but for the most part, you don't feel light touching you. If you're just sort of sitting there and it just grazes a little part of your arm or something. He's really light on like that. You probably wouldn't notice that he was there because he is light. He's very light energetically, and he is from the light. So he's really quiet. He's got a silent nature to him, but he's ridiculously wise. And for me to experience him his emanation, it's just like a rumbling earthquake of passion for discovery. And it's like his passion for discovery is ridiculously loud, and he's here to help you with your passion for discovery as well. I'm gonna see if there's a name that he would like to be called. I don't often get names because for me, even in my own world, I just work with the way they make me feel, and the feeling is their name then to me, and that's how I call for them. But let me see what he kind of reminds me of, or if he has a specific name. Let's see what he says. Okay, so when I ask him the question, he turns into an owl, and the owl blinks one eye almost like it's winking at me, and then it blinks the other eye and then looks at me, and now has both eyes open looking at me, and it makes a noise. It starts to transition into looking like a cuckoo clock, but it's an owl clock. And the owl clock never stops looking. This time it just doesn't blink its eyes. Its eyes are just open. It's just staring. So I'm just watching this. This is his response to the question. So let's see where this goes. So he's talking about wisdom and time, and he shows that the hour the hour and the minute is attached, is connected, interconnected with the heart of the owl. So that's where he shows me, and he shows me that he shows me the hour hand and the minute hand are two different timelines. And it has nothing to do with our perception of a clock. He's trying to create a diagram of something that would be simple for us to understand. So if we saw the hour hand was on 3, and then the minute hand was on 12, we could see this as two timelines happening simultaneously, and it all comes from the heart of the owl. It's like speaking in a riddle. He says, "So what is my name, Abby?" Like, I just say you're a hoot. So why don't we just call you're a hoot? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, but he says that's my name, and it's sort of in the form of a riddle about an owl and time and timelines. So that's all I know about that. But let's see what else. Okay. So this is kind of a cool message. Uh, you can take it however you want, but you're being initiated into some new divine experience. I see you. It's kind of has the emanation of like a baptism, or some sort of like it's confirmation. It's some sort of special time, and so you're wearing white robes and you're being initiated into an experience, a spiritual experience. It's very natural, but it's got a very sacred vibration, holy vibration to it. And I just see you wearing white robes, and there's light emanating from all around you. And he is slightly higher up than you, and he looks like a bird. He actually looks like a man and a bird. I can't say that he is an angel, although he also looks like an angel too. But he looks like a man, a bird, and an angel. Let's just say that. Now I see you a little bit lower, but you are walking up this stairway. It's all in heaven, to meet him at the top. He has a gift for you. He's shifting his image, and he definitely looks like an owl as well as he stands here. He places something. It's very odd because it reminds me of the Wizard of Oz, and the Tin Man wanted a heart, and the object that was given to him was by the wizard was like I swear to God, it was like a heart clock, and then it had like corn. It looked, or like, I mean, like popcorn is what it looked like these little popcorn balls that created the necklace chain, and then they put it around him, and it sort of reminds me of this. He's putting this like very special heart necklace, but it looks like a big heart, but it's also a clock. And the owl man is giving it to you, which is also the scholar, which is also a man and a bird and an angel, and he's giving it to you. And there's a very holy and sacred vibration going on here. And it reminds me of the Wizard of Oz still, because Dorothy too was wanting to find her way back home. And so somehow this is like a significant image here, because it's telling you that you've conquered the hardest parts of your pathway, and now you are already home. You've come home somehow. So in some version of a timeline, you've come home, and this is a reflection of that, and it's actually happening right now is how it feels to me. But I feel like it could have happened at any time. But it definitely feels like it's happening right now. It's almost dizzying. I'm just asked to be patient right now, although I'm getting a lot of information. I'm just going to be patient and allow this to continue to flow. This moment of receiving. It's almost like graduation in a way from high school. It's a big deal. You've made it, you achieved it. It's also very, very special. It's still emanating that. There's so many reactions in your human biology to this event, but those are going to be slowly muted as we continue to allow this experience to emanate. I mean, I feel like this needs to last for a while. So almost like we could take this moment in time and just spread it out for a long time. So I'm just allowing this part of your consciousness to remain here in this space for as long as you need, because it's really important and it's really meaningful for your soul and your heart. And it's almost like time stands still as you're receiving this gift, and you're standing before him and you're embracing this message, and it's still like happening as though it just happened, all the while your biology and everything is receiving this communication. And it's just like some parts of you, like ego for instance, is like trying to destroy what is happening, only because that's natural. It's what ego does. If we go beyond ego, now ego gets pissed about that. I didn't tell you you could cut in line. I didn't tell you you could go ahead of me. Like, how dare you? I'm in control here. Ego is always wanting to be in control. And so this here is saying that ego, you're not in control. So that freaks ego out a little bit. But I'm just helping ego to understand that nothing is, that we're just allowing the heart to emanate and to receive. We're allowing the soul to transition. And so I'm going to help ego transition with this frequency as well. So that way it can stabilize with a higher vibration without trying to sabotage this vibration, because it's just not used to it. So let's see. That's actually helping ego a lot. Just simply acknowledging it, talking to ego, because we care about ego, and the ego can receive that caring. It just feels like, thank you for acknowledging that I exist. Ego. Ego is really funny, but it needs acknowledgement that it exists, even though it's just so loud all the time. Okay, so ego is finding more peace with all this. Everything's calming down in the biology. It's feeling a lot more relaxed. We're a lot more accepting and at peace. Everything feels way more like, okay, I'm cool now. I'm like, I'm good. I feel movement. I feel like I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the next thing. I mean, I'm ready. So let's go back into that timeline and see what's happening now. You have received and received it, so the timeline is ready to continue. It doesn't need to be put on pause, but we just allow that emanation to continue to help us to realize that this really is happening, kind of thing. But we're good with it. We're driving with it now. So let's see what happens next here. He smiles and says, "Yeah, you don't need an object to remind you that you have a big, beautiful heart." But he snaps his fingers and it sort of absorbs into you as like an energy gift, but a reminder, and also an energetic upgrade. Like it's all a part of it, and it's all about love. But it's almost like you don't need an object to remind you about how beautiful that that you are, that your heart is, that your soul is. As human beings, we like to have those little artifacts, but he just snaps his fingers and it turns into energy, and then it just integrates into you. And now you carry that higher frequency with you, and it just makes you feel very proud of yourself. And you don't really know what to do next. So he's just like, he knows that. So let's see what he does next. Okay, he's turning into a dragon, like a very wise dragon, and he has a curled neck that looks down, that kind of goes up and then curves downward. And he's sitting here very comfortably with a very long tail. He's like a medieval dragon. He gets even lower into your face, and he smiles and shows you all of his sharp teeth. He loves you so much. That was so cool. It was almost like he wanted to see if you would feel vulnerable about that, or if you would just love him as he is. And there's such a positive emanation of a response that he doesn't need to put on an intimidation. There's something about wisdom, about fear and conquering fear, about staring fear in the face and saying I love you, and now there's no fear at all. There was never fear to begin with. And there's some power about the dragon essence, and it's so ancient and wise, and it is also a part of your heart too. And he's wanting to bring that wisdom of the dragon back into the surface of your identity and who you are. And it's about wisdom and ancient energetic power is how I would define it. And he's a scholar, so he is the library himself, but you are also the library yourself. But it helps when you have a friend to talk to about the things you find in the library, right? So he's here to help you work through that library within yourself, help you find certain volumes and pieces of information to continue to for your soul to grow and expand. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be easier than it's ever been before. It's going to be very enriching, and it feels like lots and lots and lots, lots of enrichment through wisdom, enlightenment, and access to like higher wisdom. It's like all about that. And scholars can kind of like, oh, it's another scholar, but I'm telling you, they're awesome when they show up, because they are the library of the universe. And they're emanating that as your guide to help you through the library of your own universe. It's really cool. So let's see. It's a lot of energy shifting in the head. It's really good, but it's also very like, wow, I'm gonna need a nap here, because it's kind of coming around the head like a cap, and then it goes around the back of the neck, and I just feel like having a stretch, and I'm just allowing the energy stretch to take place. Nice like that. We're just moving the energy around like that. Feels good. I see an image like it's your classic kind of commercialized, but it's awesome at the same time. of a healthy woman doing yoga in the jungle or something. It's like it's really surreal but cool, and she looks healthy, and she reminds you of Mother Earth and emanating all that. And so it's actually, that's what the image is like. It's like a jungle, but there's beautiful tropical flowers. There's beautiful sort of fountains of water. And then there's a yoga pose and stretch that is taking place. And the woman is she just looks youthful and healthy and balanced. And she's also a reflection of you too. But let's see. She's holding this pose and she's maintaining inner harmony, inner peace, inner balance. But she's also emanating to the universe that I am this, but I also choose this. I also want to receive this. And so everything that she emanates is also I am, but it's also I choose, I receive, I welcome harmony, balance, health, all of this. So she is a symbol of all of this, and that's actually existing within your spiritual atmosphere. And that, believe it or not, is what you are choosing as your own identity. Right now, it looks just like this, and it's very admirable. A lot of people would be like, "Oh man, I want to be her." Believe it or not, she is you, and and she is choosing balance, harmony, inner peace, connection, spirituality, Mother Earth, nature. She is choosing all of this, and because you are choosing all of this. I'm going to allow this image. This image is very powerful. It's very symbolic. You need to receive this. This image is also energy medicine, and it's reprogramming all of your biology, reminding all of your biology of who you are, what you're choosing, and all of that stuff. So it's integrating into all that you are. So you can feel more that that is your truth than you would ever give yourself credit for that being your truth. So I'm just allowing the image then continue to emanate the energy medicine. She's still holding the pose. She opens her eyes to me and she says, "Abby, I'm way too vulnerable. I'm not in shape. Let's be real here." Like, she's kind of going, it's like ego. Since where'd you come from, ego? Like, you are always trying to create a friction in the truth. The truth is this. Well, this ego part of you is coming forward and saying, "Oh, that's not me. That's some kind of joke. I'm not that way yet. I got to work towards being that." It's like, you are it. And now you allow everything else to revolve around that which you are. And so let me see what we can do here to help ego to let go of trying to be in control, trying to judge, etc., and to bring it back into harmony and balance with the truth. So let's see. Oh yeah, she's really coming alive with ego here, and just being hard on herself, judgmental. This is some kind of joke. This is too perfect to be me. Like, that's too much. I'm not that point yet. I mean, on and on and on and on and on. It's like, wow, that's how you identify yourself. Don't you know you're a god? You're a goddess. Like, don't you know that that's what you are? And yet you're going to tell me that you're a human being that's not perfect. That's not all this stuff. So who are you? Are you human, or are you a god? Like, you need to start seeing yourself as the power, as the force of your soul and your light, and nothing else. Because anything else is always going to hold you down and strap you down like a seatbelt. Seatbelts are good in cars, but not when it's like holding us down to being our human bodies as a safety net. To being our true emanating essence, which is going to freak people out if they actually experience it, because the world is all about safety belts and holding us into our bodies when we're actually freaking crazy awesome weirdos that are gods and goddesses of diversity and creativity and expression and sound and light language and all this stuff. And so you need to be that. and nothing else. We've got two things happening. One is ego. This is standing on one side, and then the true emanation of you is on the other. But they're sort of blended quite closely. So it's okay because ego is actually receiving the message. It's just kind of freaked out, and it just I took it too far. As ego's telling me I took this too far, and I wasn't ready for it. And it felt like you slapped me in the face. And why'd you do that to me? It's like, just relax, ego. You are so loved. And we want you to be a part of the truth about how holy and sacred you are. And we want you to be integrated into this experience, not to feel like you're being left out or, anything like that, because you are a part of the totality. And it's okay. Ego says, I'll never be good enough to be that. They never will. Hmm. I'm inspired to create ego is the owl with the heart and the timelines on the hour and the minute, and they're both going at the same time in their own directions. So ego is now this, and let's see what happens. Ego starts to cry. Somehow ego remembers. Ego knows who this is. Ego starts to cry. Ego is ashamed and embarrassed. Ego feels like ego, which is also this part of your soul that is a vulnerable part of your soul, is saying that I have not been able to face this soul for a long time. Is starting to remember the soul connection and what had happened between you. Ego's receiving more of the information download. This extraordinary scholar is coming down to ego as the owl clock with the heart. He's coming down as an owl himself, and he comes and holds you and tells you, I love you very much. He says, the light will remind you that I'm always here with you. Whenever you see the rays of light, that is me telling you I love you again today. And again today, and again today, and again today. At every hour, every minute, I can reach you to tell you I love you. Ego is disappearing entirely, and it's just your soul and his soul. And again, this emanation that you've come home, as in your vibration has returned to a very important point where you've returned home. So I don't know what that means, but you've returned home, and now your two vibrations can connect on a very close relationship level, where he can also participate in helping you, deeply helping you in your life. This guide is not just a guide. This guide has been there in other lifetimes with you, and you're very, very close. And anything, I don't know what there's some sort of vulnerable aspect of your past. I don't have a clue what it's about, but I already see what is an orb related to that is just starting to transition out and letting it go. So whatever that older event was, whatever it was, it's already being like purified and released. So it doesn't even relate anymore. It was some sort of block within your heart that was preventing you from working with him more in this way. That's the only reason why I'm able to introduce you to this being at this time. So, because we're removing it and we're integrating everything into the heart portal. And now through this session, you can actually understand what chakra removal is or how this works, because it's all about the heart. Feeling, speaking, expressing through the heart, everything. And you are alive inside your heart, and your home is within your heart, and you are already home. And it's this space, this energy space, which is your home, is like a heavenly space. It's really powerful and full of love and security and peace of mind. Like there's not an inkling of anything vulnerable. He turns into a dragon. I see again the original space where he was smiling with all of his teeth. And he puckers up his dragon lips and gives you a kiss. And then he stands on his legs, and then he holds you with his arms. And his dragon wings kind of wrap around you, and he tells you how beautiful you are. He says, "You are so beautiful to me." I feel his heart and your heart beating as one heart, actually connecting and beating as one heart. And his soul, in a way, it's like giving you a gift of love from his heart in order to help your heart grow and expand. And I see your heart just getting lots bigger. Something washing away from the head, letting it go, something washing away from beneath us. It's just some sort of energy goo is just washing away. Feel a lot lighter. Just coming out of some weird energy goo and just feeling so much lighter. You're almost sort of releasing a breath of flame as well. And it's coming from the heart, and it's just coming straight out. It's really great. I see you growing dragon wings. Your soul has very ancient nature, because I see you as an angel, but I also see you as a dragon too. And I mean, I see you as so many things, and that's so unique and special. I don't usually see people as dragons and angels at the same time. That's something I come across very often. And your wings are getting more expanded, your dragon wings, and you're starting to feel an ancient secret power sort of opening up within yourself. And it's actually an inner strength and an inner strength expression of voice too. And it comes out with power and expectation, demand almost of what your needs are, and choosing to stand strong in your needs. But also through self-expression. It's something, but it's very balanced. It's not like being rude about it or complaining or anything. I mean, it's just solid communication, and it's received, actually. It is heard and it is received. And that is actually natural for your soul to be heard and received. And now I see you too as like a medieval dragon standing upward and hugging another medieval dragon, and your wings are just sort of like touching each other, like hands touching each other's hands. It's really cool. Almost like swans that love each other, and their necks are kind of in like a heart shape. This is all feeling very like relaxed and complete. I'm just going to go ahead and just allow this all to relax some more. Everything feels really good. I'm just continuing to step back from your spiritual atmosphere. So I'm allowing you to kind of move on with your experience. I'm just disconnecting fully now from your spiritual atmosphere and integrating back into my body. So when you're ready to come back, how are you doing?
Wow. It was interesting when that was things were falling away and my housekeeper's vacuuming in the other room and I keep hearing it like sucking air in here.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
Oh,
my chakras are gone.
it's up to you if you want to choose. You get to choose. That has all been broken down and released so that you can be heart centered.
Yeah.
You can go back to being mind centered anytime you
I
want.
don't want to do that. No, I want all that gone.
You're actually, I'm going to tell you, this session, I feel like all of the sessions have been really amazing and really propelling you forward. And this session, I think, is going to propel you forward more than any of the other ones. And I don't know how that could be possible because they were all awesome. But this one I felt really spoke deeply into your heart, allowed everything else to let go and to bring you into that space of this is who I am. And to have that emanating through all of your biology and your ego also as an acceptance of it is also very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt when you first started going into my heart, I felt like this clenching a little bit. And
Mm.
then when you met him, it started to relax. And then
Yeah.
I kept feeling the chills or tingles throughout every cell in my body.
Wow.
And then everything got lighter, and my head's still kind of swimming a little bit,
I bet.
Feels good though.
Yeah.
What's interesting is in the Chinese horoscope, I'm a dragon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Well, in your soul, you're also a dragon. And there's like an ancient, this like when we tap into certain frequencies of our expression and we pull in that information into our identity and the way we hold our head up, the way that we speak to others. So it's kind of a cool thing to say that that dragon side of you is coming awake and it's choosing to hold its head up differently, as in you're going to hold your head up differently. You're going to be speaking differently and expressing yourself differently. But again, it's like, will it happen overnight? Yes. But also, it's continue to work with that new emanation and let it take you to the next place. Yeah, it's cool.
And I guess my purpose will rear its head soon, I hope.
Well, it's neat because you are actually these sessions are your purpose. And they are bringing you into awakening and positive choices and self love and letting go. And that's part of the school of learning that you're in right now. And
Yeah.
so we kind of want it to be all written out for us with, here's step one with, 8 bullets A, B, and C. But this actually is it.
Yeah.
This right now is that purpose, and you're going to continue to follow your heart and find that your purpose is becoming more prevalent, like more enriching and more that you participate in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. I know there's still, I think, a little bit of ego wanting to like.
that's okay. Give yourself some time because this session, just take it easy, rest when you need to rest. I will say ego was really struggling with it. It just kept coming in and coming in. Like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you making me more infinite? You're freaking me out. That's what ego does. But that's okay. So we just learn how to work with ego and say, but I am infinite and I'm beautiful as I am. And ego, you're a part of me, so that means you're infinite too. And then ego starts to say, oh, the more that the days pass, it starts to be more an acceptance of its true identity. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Yeah, I
welcome.
know I'm coming into more self-love because just yesterday found this because I've been wanting to lose the extra weight that I'm carrying. And I
Yeah.
found this meditation was it was about more releasing what doesn't serve you and not
Mhm.
forcing the body to lose weight, you know.
Right.
And so I'm doing it with more self-love
That's
now,
cool.
and like doing these meditations in the morning and at night, and reminding, I love you, my body, I
Yes.
love you. Let's let go of what
Yes.
doesn't serve us so we can be even lighter together.
Right. Exactly. Talking to your body, that's something I just started doing a couple weeks ago. When I made that, I shared a video about how to heal your body, spiritually heal your body, because I've been starting to, it's like my goddess body, and then this is my goddess water right here. So I'm going to consume my goddess water for my goddess body. So I say these things, and my body receives it. And I take my goddess walk, and I call it that. I define it as that, and I speak to my body in this way, and my body is just like, "Oh, this is the nicest you've ever been to me," and it's good, you know. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to happen. Like, is it happening overnight? Yes, but also it's like time transforms us. And yeah,
It was interesting too about him with all of the books, because that's me. I'm like voraciously wanting to study and learn, and then
yeah,
lately I'm like it's too overwhelming. I
mm,
can't absorb all that knowledge. I want to absorb it all right now, but I
yeah,
can't. And so since I've been working with you, going into my heart a lot more, and
yeah,
the whole thing with the dragonfly the other day was
yeah,
just so magical to me.
yeah.
And I want to go in and see more like you. I love how you do it, just
Cool.
speaking the symbols instead of going, God, what does that mean? Trying to figure out what everything means all the time.
Right.
And maybe if I just, because I do see the symbols, they don't come as quickly as yours, and as
Mm-hmm.
frequently. I'm hoping they will start to now,
Yeah.
but more visualization, I think will get me there, right?
Yeah.
Is that
It
how
will.
you did it? You just kept visualizing things and
Well, I'm going to be teaching you how to do it soon enough,
yeah.
but when basically, like, I'll teach you how to allow your heart to reveal the images, and it'll be just like what I do. But it'll have your own unique twist to it, because like Joe and I do like a very similar type of journey, very symbolic, and it's like a story. But he's still different in his own way than how I do it. So you're going to be a little bit of a different twang in how you do it too. But I swear this is our most innate, natural psychic ability. Any human being can do it. Any human being can do it. And it overrides this. It overrides the mind, and it brings us into the heart and allows the heart to take us on the psychic journey. And you'll be able to do it. Everybody's been able to do it. I would say I had the toughest client. It was either last week or the week after, but it was the toughest client because she couldn't get the space to reveal itself. She's like, I just still don't see anything. It's like, that's okay. That's okay. Because when people go in there like, but I'm not seeing anything. What am I doing wrong? It's supposed to be working. It's like, no, don't go there with it. We're going to try another technique, and we're going to try another technique. And I was able to finally get her into finding things. And we had to play a lot of tricks on the mind, and do a lot of like other ways. And I was like, oh my God, how did I do it? I did it though for her. If I could do it for her, I swear I can do it for anybody. But yeah, she had a psychic experience, and it was amazing. And it was amazing for her too. And even days after, she says, I just feel so peaceful inside. Because when you have the psychic experience too, Diane, you're going to heal yourself in the psychic experience. It's going to be cool.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well,
Yay.
I better get going here, but it's just so lovely to connect with you, and I'm gonna be like, I know you're gonna be feeling just totally like renewed in a whole new way,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
feel
excited
it.
for you.
I feel it. I feel it. I'm gonna feel it more and more and more every day. Thank
Yeah,
you so much. I really love working with you, and I love watching all your videos.
Thank you.
All your videos are healing to me, and I've been watching a lot of them.
Wow.
And I
Cool.
didn't even know that you, and I know you have to go, but I didn't know that you saw the blue alien beings too. So that's really cool.
Yes.
I just
I have
listened to that
all
one
kinds of
yesterday.
experiences. What's that? You
I
watched that
listened to
yesterday?
that one yesterday. I was like, oh
Cool.
my God, I didn't even know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not alone.
No, you're
People
not.
love us. They are all love.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, look
Yeah,
cool.
I better let you go, but thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, Diane. Thank you too. I love connecting with your soul. It's a lot of fun for me.
Thank you. I love connecting with yours.
All right. Well, you take care and
In a couple of weeks, I guess, or yeah.
yeah, soon it'll come soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care,
Um,
Diane.
bye. Thank
Bye.
you.